Welcome back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving you my final Golden Globe nominations predictions. Alright, we got a lot to talk about, but before we do that, I do want to let you guys know that memberships are open, and the reason why I'm mentioning the memberships is because all throughout award season, I'm going to be covering the regional critics groups for members. Obviously, stuff like the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards and the Industry Awards, including the guilds, like not just SAG or PGA, but also the crafts, like visual effects and cinematography, all that stuff. Those will still be public, but if you want to know more about the regional critics groups and my thoughts on them, well then you can have, like memberships, like get a membership, and you're going to get a lot of cool content, and even like some more like smaller Oscar updates that I'm thinking. But right now, let's get into the nominations, shall we? Alright. We're going to start off with Drama Picture, because this is coming right off of the AFI Top 10, and I'm not going to lie, it's looking kind of solid as to what's going to get in at the Oscars, because, like, it's just very normal. Complete Unknown has shown up everywhere it needs to. Like, sure, it didn't get the Astor Award nomination for Best Picture, but also the nominations were probably being voted on while the film, or like before the film was even shown to critics. So it's like, do we really want to take that seriously? Because outside of that, Complete Unknown still showed up at NBR and AFI. So I think it's going to be fine. I do think A Complete Unknown is going to be fine, and the reason why I have it above Dune is because I could see it winning some above-the-line stuff, but we'll get to that here in a bit. Right now, like, I still think at the end of the day, Sing Sing will win Best Picture at the Oscars, but at the Globes, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a slow burn up to that point, because I feel like the critics' sweeper for drama might first be, like, The Brutalist. Like, The Brutalist just kind of sounds like that Power of the Dog, Roma kind of frontrunner. But again, I do want to keep my eyes out for Sing Sing, because Sing Sing, it is arguably the most acclaimed film in this lineup. Like, everyone who sees Sing Sing loves it. I just don't know how visible it is. But then again, like, Sing Sing was, I think if I'm not mistaken, Sing Sing was the first film that, like, A24 started pushing to, for your consideration voters, like screeners and stuff. Whereas The Brutalist, I don't even think they have sent out screeners. But so that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like, I don't really know what's going on. Because again, Sing Sing, like, it is feeling like it's going to be riding off of that awards buzz, but I feel like we need to get there first. Even though at the same time, Sing Sing has been nominated pretty much everywhere it's needed to be. It overperformed with Gotham Award wins. It did pretty well with Indie Spirit nominations. It made both NBR and AFI, which, keep in mind, at NBR, they snubbed shit like Dune. Like, they snubbed Dune. I think they snubbed the Nickel Boys. And yet, despite all that, Sing Sing still made it in. So, I'm thinking, like, I don't know, it is tough. Honestly, it is kind of tough between Brutalist and Sing Sing. But right now, I'll still go with The Brutalist because I could see it winning director, and it might win lead actor, but we'll have to see. And I don't know if I can say that Sing Sing is winning screenplay here, because historically, the Globes go for original screenplays more. But then again, at the same time, I do have Clarence Macklin in for for supporting actor, that being a win. So we'll have to see. It is definitely between these two. Conclave, again, it's been showing up where it needs to. I feel like it's going to get, like, a good haul. Maybe it might do better here than even at the Oscars, but we'll have to see. Again, I've already said my piece on A Complete Unknown. Dune, it might just be fine. It's probably not going to win. It's probably not going to be as strong as the first Dune. But, at the Oscars, it might win, like, maybe 1 or 3 techs. But yeah. And Nickel Boys, it's showing up. Like, it showed up at AFI. And so, I think it's good. I think it's going to be fine here, especially with how normal the AFI was. Like, they didn't even go for, like, juror number 2. Like, juror number 2, because, the AFI loves Clint Eastwood movies, and they didn't even go for that. They love animated movies, and they didn't even go for The Wild Robot. They love this stuff. And yet they went for Nickel Boys over that. And same thing with Emilia Perez, and yet they hate international films. So, that's tough. And I have made the tough decision to take Room Next Door out, which again I don't like doing because Room Next Door, it is a Pedro Almodovar film, but I will say, and the reason why I say this is because like Pedro Almodovar does very well at the Globes, but I don't, and at the same time this did win the Golden Lion, but again I don't know how to feel about that. Because, like, with that AFI, it feels very locked up. Unless you want to say one of them gets snubbed, but I don't know what gets snubbed now. Like, the most I can maybe think of is maybe A Real Pain. But even then, like, it's like... But I guess I could see an argument made for Room Next Door. So I'm gonna play it safe. Because especially with a lineup of 6, and it's going to be very competitive. Maybe the Room Next Door gets slightly bumped out. Although, ooh... Watch out! Watch out for some of the other stuff. Seed of the Sacred Fig. Again, I feel like the competition is just kind of really tightening up. And plus, even here, I don't even know if it would be like a Zone of Interest or an Anatomy of a Fall. Like, I feel like the Seed of the Sacred Fig would have to be like... It would have to show up at like BAFTA, I guess, because it's getting really tight. All We Imagine As Light, it is winning some international awards, surprisingly, over Seed of the Sacred Fig and Emilia Perez. So, I'm wondering, like, can All We Imagine As Light be a sleeper contender? But I don't know. I'm still here, because, like, that film is just really blowing up, especially when it comes to, like, Brazilian social media. I mean, my God, they love this movie. And then Queer, I only kind of put Queer here because it did make the National Board of Review, and that was kind of unexpected. Like, you would not think a film like Queer would make it in. But again, I'm just kind of putting it here just to see, what could happen and stuff. So... yeah. Drama actress, alright? This is tough because none of these films I have in best film, or at least best picture drama. None of the movies these actresses are in I have in best, best drama in best drama picture. So who do I think wins? Well, I might just go with Angelina Jolie. But again, if Room Next Door surprises, then Tilda Swinton might win. Like, because she's clearly in a Best Picture nominee, but I don't know. People are really raving Maria. And I know that people are saying, well, but this is like the least acclaimed film of Pablo Larraín's Women trilogy. But I don't know. Even despite that, we're seeing more and more predictions below the line. Like, people are predicting cinematography. People are predicting costume design. I think there's even a chance it could get production design because of the production designer Guy Hendricks Dias. Like, he directed Passengers, and that was like completely unexpected. So here it's kind of like a safer bet when it comes to like the period production design. And plus it looks gorgeous. So it really makes me wonder, like, yeah, it's the least critically acclaimed film in Pablo Larraín's trilogy, but I don't know, like, could it, like, even then, it's like, people are raving Angelina Jolie's performance. If not her, I'd maybe say Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl. And I'm kind of surprised, because, like, Baby Girl, honestly, Nicole Kidman might get nominated for the Oscar. Because, again, I'm looking at the NBR wins, and, like, usually, at least in the acting categories, within the past year, if you get nominated, if you win one of the acting categories, you have a pretty good chance of getting nominated for the Oscar. So, I'm kind of looking out for Nicole Kidman here. And plus, the Globes love Nicole Kidman. I mean, good God, they gave her the win for Best Actress Drama for being the Ricardos. Like, there was no reason to do that, and yet they did it anyway. But again, this is the new Globes. I don't know how much the new Globes are going to be affecting the wins here, but I am keeping my eye out. Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here could also very well get the Oscar nomination. Very possible, actually. Especially with the international branch. Not branch, but, the international members. Tilda Swinton for The Room Next Door. I think even if the film does not get into Best Picture Drama, Tilda Swinton is going to be fine. Kate Winslet for Lee. Oh, watch out, because I've been, like, if you've not been following social media, like, the industry, or at least the actors, are really trying to get Kate Winslet nominated. Like, Kate Winslet was, like, talking with, was it, like, Edward Norton? I don't exactly, I know Frances Fisher was talking about her, and then Dwayne Johnson was talking about Lee. And I know people are going, Dwayne Johnson, but it's like, he's very popular in social media. And it's like, if even people like him, who, like, he's like big blockbuster guy, and he's talking about this, like, biopic movie, like Lee, it makes me think there might be something happening with Kate Winslet. All right, and I know Origin didn't happen last year, but like no one really knew what to do with Origin. It's like, all right, is it kind of Best Picture? Is it kind of Best Actress? Maybe adapted. Origin was just a weird film to campaign, but with Lee, it's just simple. Campaign Kate Winslet in lead actress. Boom. Like, it's a lot easier than that. And again, you know, you have Kate Winslet, and she's way more established than, you know, like, I know Angelou Ellis-Taylor has been around for a while, but, you know, more people know who Kate Winslet is, and I think she's actually already won an Oscar. So she kind of does have that Hollywood legend status. And then Marianne Jean-Baptiste for Hard Truths. I think in a lineup of 6 for drama, she could get in. I am interested to see if she'll get the BAFTA nomination, which that'll be pretty easy, I assume. But right now, I think this is good. And plus, also, like, I don't really know who else to go for. Like, maybe Julianne Moore for The Room Next Door, but that would be, like, a very big overperformance. Like, if Julianne Moore got in, I would have to assume that The Room Next Door got Best Picture Drama and a couple of other categories. Saoirse Ronan for The Outrun. This movie just seems to be really nowhere. Like, no one really cares about The Outrun. Regina King for Shirley. Honestly, Regina King could get SAG for this. But I'm not banking on the Oscar nomination right now, but I will say, if she got in for Drama Actress here and SAG, ooh, I'd keep my eye out. Florence Pugh for We Live in Time. Again, I'm just kind of trying to figure out what could be happening. And Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl. I feel like, you know, indie critics are trying to make this happen, but I don't know if it's really going to translate to, like the big televised awards. Drama Actor. Screw it. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to put Timmy back in. I'm putting Timmy back into number 1 because people are saying, oh, wow, Timothée Chalamet was better in this movie than I thought. And I feel so gaslit because I literally took Timmy out of number 1 for you all because you were saying, oh, come on, no one's going to care about Timmy's performance. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll go with Adrian Brody. And then look what happened. People are really caring about Timothée Chalamet's performance. Even the people that are saying that the movie's kind of mid are saying he's pretty amazing in the film. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. He's just going to take the Oscar, I think. He's going to take the Oscar. Again, here it might go to Adrian Brody, but I can already see what Timothée Chalamet might do. He might win the BAFTA and the SAG. I could see that happening. I don't know what the Critics' Choice will do. They'll probably go with like whoever's sweeping, but you know, I can't deny it any longer. I'm putting Timmy back at number 1. Coleman Domingo, I think he's just solidly in there. I'm wondering if he can win SAG. Because, again, I am expecting Sing Sing to win Best Picture, and for that to happen, I feel like it would need to make a big splash at SAG, which it would need SAG Ensemble and Supporting Actor, but, man, if they really wanted to have a party and give Coleman Domingo the win for Lead Actor, ooh, then it would be undeniable at that point. Still, I think he's solidly in there. And also Ray Fiennes for Conclave. I think, again, he's just kind of happy to be there. And then that 5th slot. Because this has been chaotic. All right, it's been chaotic. But you know what? I think, honestly, Daniel Craig for Queer just might make the most sense. Like, the fact that it made NBR, and he won the NBR award for Best Lead Actor, which, granted, winning this doesn't always give you the lead actor nomination. You know, this didn't, you know, look at, what's his name? Trying to think who won and who got nominated. Like Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems, sure. But here it's like, honestly, because but it's one of those stats where it's like you can find a couple of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? A couple of places where the win at NBR did not result in an Oscar nomination, but it's not very often, at least not within this decade. So I'm kind of going with the assumption that Daniel Craig's going to get the Oscar nomination and he's going to show up here. Kingsley Ben-Adir for Bob Marley One Love. He might just get the SAG nomination, honestly. He might be that 5th slot for SAG. Because, like, Paramount is really trying to campaign Bob Marley One Love. Like, they realize that they don't really have a lot. So they're just like, all right, screw it. We're just going to put Kingsley Ben-Adir everywhere and hope he gets an Oscar nomination. If not him, John David Washington for The Piano Lesson. I mean, I don't know. The ensemble for The Piano Lesson is still very much buzzed about, We'll have to see. Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Man, I want this to happen so bad, but again, Hollywood is so scared of Trump right now, they're not going to do it. Nicholas Hoult for Juror number 2. Again, this is it's a big long shot. Hell, I even took Juror number 2 out of the top, out of my predictions for Best Picture Drama. That's how dead this movie is. I mean, good God, if it couldn't even get nominated at AFI, then Juror number 2's dead. It's so dead. But, however, considering the category, maybe Nicholas Hoult could squeeze in, but I don't know. Actually, no, I don't know about maybe, but I'm just kind of talking about, rounding out the nominees, or contenders, I should say. Timothée Chalamet for Dune Part 2, Andrew Garfield for We Live in Time. Again, just mentioning them here. Best Picture Musical or Comedy. Okay, there's been some shakeups. I still think Anora's going to win Best Picture Musical or Comedy. And I don't think Wicked's gonna win. I mean, if it did win over Anora, oh my God, that is kind of big, especially with this new Globes body. Because then it would make me think, well, what's the Critics' Choice Awards gonna do? What are they gonna do about that? And I am expecting Wicked to do very well at Critics' Choice. No, not Critics' Choice, at the Golden Globes, very well. But, however, I don't see Wicked. Other than maybe supporting actress, I don't think it's going to win director or screenplay. And I feel like you would want that if you're going to win the Golden Globe for Best Picture, whichever one it may be. So, I don't know. Emilia Perez at number 3, it's weird. Emilia Perez is just kind of dipping down, boop, 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 boop. Ever since it released on Netflix, people have just started liking it less and less and less. And it makes me wonder. A Real Pain, yeah, this makes sense. So, yeah. That kind of does it for my Best Picture contenders, because really the last 2 slots is kind of funny. I don't know. I think Challengers will be number 5 here. That makes sense to me. And number 6 is tough. I really, really wrestle between The Substance and The Wild Robot. And, okay, let's talk about this. The Wild Robot has... it has a good precedent in which, animated movies in Best Picture, musical or comedy, at the Globes, tend to do pretty well here. At least before they introduced the Best Animated Feature category, because, Beauty and the Beast won here, Aladdin was nominated, The Lion King won, Toy Story was nominated here, what was it? I think it was, Toy Story 2 won here. Chicken Run, was nominated here. The Incredibles was nominated here. Finding Nemo was nominated here. They really liked animated films in Best Picture Musical or Comedy. But is that the case anymore? I don't know. We'll have to see. And really, on paper, The Wild Robot, the only film that's really more critically acclaimed than The Wild Robot is Anora. So this does make sense. But, however, The Wild Robot didn't even make NBR or AFI, and yet Spider-Verse did. Or at the very least, no, Spider-Verse didn't make NBR, but it did make AFI. But Wild Robot couldn't even do that. So, if that's the case, The Wild Robot may be weaker than Spider-Verse. But at the same time, you have The Substance, and that has things going against it as well. Because... granted, it did get Best Picture nominations at the Indie Spirits, at the Astra Awards, and it got some nominations at the Gotham Awards. But it didn't get NBR, it didn't get AFI, and it's still a body horror movie with gross out prosthetics and stuff. So it kind of both The Substance and The Wild Robot kind of have things going against them. I'm going to put in The Substance because it's just showing up more often. But again, I'd still watch out for that Wild Robot. The Wild Robot might still get in. It's just tough. It's just kind of tough. Hitman, outside of that, Hitman would be number 8. Saturday Night would be number 9. Different Man at number 10. DD at number 11. Honestly, I don't think anything from 8, 9, 10, 11, I don't think any of those are really happening. It's just the top 5, and either The Substance or Wild Robot gets in. It's kind of just between those. So, yeah. Best Musical Comedy Actress. This is where things are completely chaotic, because this is where the vast majority of the lead actress contenders are, because you have Mikey Madison for Honora, who I right now has it as number one, but she still doesn't feel right as number one, because, like, it depends on what's going on with the race. Here, let's just continue. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. I mean, even if Erivo doesn't get into Best Picture at the Oscar, if doesn't get into lead actress at the Oscars, she would still probably get, like, at minimum, like, Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, SAG. And, maybe the jury might say, well, actually, no, the jury is not going to save her at BAFTA. So, yeah, she just might get those 3. But even then, I still feel like she would get snubbed for the Oscar, even though this is, like, a big, like, musical performance. But I don't know. They still didn't nominate Margot Robbie last year. So that's kind of tough. Carla Sofia Gascon, I'm still worried about her prospects at the Oscars, but I think, especially in a split category like this, like, she'll be in at the Golden Globes. Amy Adams for Night Bitch. Man, it's so weird. Like, Night Bitch is just not really taking off as I thought it would. Like, at the same time, it's only been, like, at a limited release so far. But people are praising her performance, and she did get into the indie spirits. She did do that. But it's so tough, because, again, she makes sense as a lead actress win, but it's just Night Bitch isn't really taking off as much. And then you have Zendaya for Challengers. All right, sure, we'll see. And then, again, that last slot is really up in the air, mainly between Demi Moore, June Squibb, and Emma Stone. It is killing me not to put, like, okay, let's talk about Demi Moore, all right? Demi Moore, if The Substance is in Best Picture, then Demi Moore would have to get nominated. Would have to. And I will say, if The Substance were to get nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, then I feel like that's a very good way to predict Demi Moore for a lead actress win. Like, she kind of has everything going with her for that. Like, a Best Picture nominated film. She's doing a lot with the performance. She has a big, Hollywood career narrative behind her. She kind of has everything going for her, as long as The Substance is in Best Picture. Because I don't think Demi Moore happens without The Substance being in Best Picture. But again, The Substance is kind of a hard sell to get into Best Picture. So it's tough. At the same time, June Squibb has been very much praised for her performance in Thelma. Like, people want to see her in. But at the same time, you also have Emma Stone in Kinds of Kindness, which also she makes sense for that nomination. Because, like, yeah, she is Emma Stone. And even though Kinds of Kindness wasn't really that big, she did win the Comedy Musical Actress Golden Globe last year, and it's not like the Oscars where they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just kind of do our own thing. Like the Golden Globes kind of do like their celebrities a bit. I mean, good God, they nominated Taylor Swift the Eras Tour for Best Cinematic and Box Office Achievement, literally just so that they could have Taylor Swift at the Golden Globes. But right now, I'll just go with Demi Moore, because, again, I do have The Substance in Best Picture Drama, but, man, it really is tough. It's really, really tough. Again, as for the win, I honestly don't really know. Maybe it's Mikey Madison, but I don't know. I am kind of looking... I want to see... I guess it depends on how well any of these movies do. Like, if The Substance gets into Best Picture, Musical, or Comedy, and either Director or Screenplay, then I think Demi Moore would actually win the Comedy Musical Golden Globe. I feel like she would actually win this. Without any further ado, let's get to Musical Comedy Actor. All right, and this is kind of where I'm thinking maybe Jesse Eisenberg wins. Because right now, the only film I have in Best Picture right now is A Real Pain. Yeah, honestly, this kind of does make the most sense, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, A Real Pain is the only film in Best Picture Musical Comedy Actor that I actually have in Best Picture Musical or Comedy. Or wait, did I say Best Picture Musical Comedy Actor? I should have said Musical Comedy Actor. I can't speak today. So I guess it would make sense that Jesse Eisenberg would win this. If not him, then maybe Glenn Powell. I don't think Glenn Powell's going to get nominated for the Oscar. People, I feel like, are just like, no, that's not happening. It's too much of a goofy, okay, maybe it's not goofy, but it's like, I was watching the movie, I'm like, why does anyone think Glenn Powell would be nominated for an Oscar for this? Absolutely not. No. Gabriel Abel for Saturday Night. again, this would make sense. It's technically a biopic performance, but Saturday Night just doesn't really exist. Sebastian Stan for A Different Man, I think he'll just get nominated. And then, this is tough. I have Michael Keaton for Beetlejuice and Hugh Grant for Heretic here. But I don't know. Maybe Jesse Plemons gets nominated for Kinds of Kindness, but I don't know what I would take out. I mean, I will say, I do have Beetlejuice in Best Picture, no, not Best Picture, in Best Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. I don't know if that means anything, but that's technically more nominations for Beetlejuice than Heretic. But at the same time, people are really loving, Hugh Grant in Heretic, so I don't know what's going on. But again, I would watch out for Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness, alright? Isaac Wong for Didi, he's great, but I feel like the category is just kind of too crowded. Joaquin Phoenix for Joker Folie à Deux. This is where we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool and Wolverine. Ryan Gosling for The Fall Guy. I don't think any of these are happening, so yeah. Best Supporting Actress. Alright. Yeah, I think Ariana Grande's winning. Yeah, this kind of makes the most sense right now. Because, like Emilia Perez, okay, I do think Wicked is eventually going to start dipping down. Like, people aren't going to be as excited for it as much. But people are already turning on Emilia Perez. Whereas Wicked, it's still kind of riding high. And even then, people that don't like Wicked all that much still say that Ariana Grande is amazing as Glinda. Whereas with Emilia Perez, it's like kind of like ever since it kind of dropped on Netflix, no one's really been talking about the performances. Like everyone, like it's mostly just been kind of complaining. So that's kind of that is tough. And let's see, Felicity Jones for the. I should also say with Ariana Grande, it is good to be in a musical stage adaptation that's in Best Picture, because if that happens, then you're probably winning. Supporting actress. I mean, good God, like if the color purple was just a little bit more acclaimed and was able to get those Best Picture nominations, then maybe Danielle Brooks could have had a chance. But without it, she didn't really. But Ariana Grande, I feel like people might just like the movie. Like the people definitely like the movie more than Color Purple did. So yeah, and Felicity Jones, I think she'll just kind of be there. Daniel Deadweiler for The Piano Lesson, sure. Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez. I'm really wondering if Selena Gomez is really going to happen. Because, like, again, Emilia Perez is just kind of taking a big dip-de-doo. And it's not really doing that well. And I don't want to go completely 5 out of 5 with the Oscars. So I do have Elle Fanning for A Complete Unknown. But then again, I don't know. Elle Fanning also did win the Supporting Actress National Board of Review Award. And again, obviously, like I said, winning at NBR doesn't mean you're going to win the Oscar, but in the acting categories, it's good for a nomination. So I am kind of looking out for Elle Fanning. Maybe she just gets like Critics' Choice and SAG or something, but I don't know. I want to play it safe somehow. Aunjanue Ellis Taylor for the Nickel Boys. I do feel like Aunjanue Ellis Taylor will get nominated for the Oscar, but I feel like Nickel Boys is a film that would do better at Critics' Choice and SAG than Golden Globe and BAFTA. So that's kind of the logic I'm going with right now. Isabella Rossellini, first of all, before her, I'll also talk about Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. Again, people are really raving her performance, so I'm just not really sure. And plus with Elle Fanning, if they do a double nomination here, then oh my god, we're in for a treat. But we'll have to see. Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. She'll most certainly happen at BAFTA, but it really is tough. So, honestly, maybe. Margaret Qualley for The Substance. If The Substance really wanted to overperform, then they would nominate her, but again, I'm not quite there yet. Natasha Lyonne for His Three Daughters. That might be more of a Critics' Choice thing than like an Oscar thing, but who knows. Saoirse Ronan for Blitz. I don't think people don't like Blitz. People don't care about Blitz, so I'd say no. And Joan Chen for Didi, again, might get some critics love, but I don't know about the bigger awards. And Supporting Actor. This is actually kind of tough, because it is kind of the Wild West out here. Let's talk about, like, who might win. All right, people are saying if A Real Pain is in Best Picture, Kieran Culkin could win lead actor. But again, I still want to point to Clarence Macklin. because Clarence Macklin is the heart and soul of Sing Sing, and people like and Sing Sing is a movie that's irresistible to people. And if I think Sing Sing is winning Best Picture, then I feel like Clarence Macklin would need to start winning. But again, even then, Troy Kotsur didn't win the Globe for, Coda. It went to Cody Smith McPhee for The Power of the Dog. But again, that was the old Globes. What are the new Globes going to do? I don't know how we should view the new Globes. But I would say these are the top three: Clarence Macklin, Guy Pearce, and Kieran Culkin. So we don't really know what's going to happen. I know some people are taking out Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2 because people just don't really care about Gladiator 2 that much. Fair, but I'd still say he's Denzel Washington, though. Like, if he can get in for Roman J. Israel Esquire, I still think he would get in for the Oscar. I think he would get in for Gladiator 2. Like, sure, this is a big action movie that no one cares about, but it's still the sequel to Gladiator, and it still has more of a prestige feel to it than something like, what's that movie he's in, the X something, The Equalizer, that's what I meant, yeah. So, yeah, Edward Norton for a complete unknown. I'm not even, I'm pretty sure he'll still get in at the Oscars, but I don't know where he would show up. Would he show up here, or would it have to be at the Critics' Choice Awards, or the SAG? If he got lone SAG, that would be dangerous, but I do think he will get SAG, so where else would he get it? If he doesn't get it at Critics' Choice, then alright, maybe he might be in trouble. But I think he's either going to show up here or Critics' Choice. I'm kind of going with those two right now. And obviously, if you've seen the Critics' Choice Award video, which that will be coming up tomorrow, then you will know that I have Edward Norton in for both Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, which I don't think is going to happen, but I want to see him get in somewhere. Yura Borisov for Anora. I'm starting to take him more seriously as a contender. That's obvious. Like, that's pretty good. But at the same time, if I put in Yura Borisov in here, that means he would get in the top 5. Or so would it be Edward? See, that's the thing. It's tough. I don't like how some of these categories are like clearly going like 5 out of 5 with what I think is getting nominated for the Oscar. Because I don't think that, but I don't know who would miss or who would miss to whom. And as you can see, this list is pretty lengthy because I don't really know what the Globes are going to do. Stanley Tucci for Conclave, maybe. Again, maybe. Mark Edelstein for Anora. I mean, I was thinking maybe him, but Yura Borisov is just showing up more. Jonathan Bailey for Wicked. He might get in at Critics' Choice, if I'm going to be honest. Or maybe even SAG. If they really want to throw a Wicked party. Maybe Critics' Choice, because maybe Critics' Choice would be more likely to do that, because even the SAGs didn't nominate, America Ferrera. Brian Terry Henry for The Fire Inside, maybe, or would he just get SAG? That sounds like a lone SAG nomination, probably. John Lithgow for Conclave, I don't know, the competition might be too strong as is. J.K. Simmons for Saturday Night. I heard Brian Rowe talk about, is it Brian Rowe? It's all I know is that the awards contender. Maybe that's not his name. But the awards contender was saying, maybe J.K. Simmons is like an outside shot for Saturday Night, so I'm just like, alright, I want to look up for that. I mean, he's not going to get in for juror number 2. Josh O'Connor for Challengers, maybe, and Mike Feist. I only have them in because, Challengers is in Best Picture of the Globes, or at least I'm predicting it, but I don't know if that's really happening. Paul Raci for Sing Sing, I'm kind of leaving him, as a possibility in case Sing Sing is, really popular. Adam Pearson for A Different Man, and Chris Hemsworth for Furiosa. A Different Man's doing pretty well with critics groups, and also Furiosa is doing a little bit better than I thought with critics. But I don't know. It might Chris Hemsworth might still be gone and whatever, but we'll have to see. Director, all right. This is tough, but I will right now put Brady Corbett in as the winner. I think he takes the Oscar because he just kind of makes the most sense for a director win. Big, large-scale film, or at least where you could, clearly see, the directorial, scale of it all. Even something like Parasite, which, people would say, well, that's large-scale. It's, still had a big set, big flooding sequences. It was still a pretty large film overall. You want to be a large film, if you want to win director. That's why I don't really like think Anora is happening. Granted, I haven't seen Anora, but at least from the trailers, it's like, how big is Anora? Like, how large scale is it? That's like, they usually do go with the large scale films to win director. Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2. I think he'll get nominated here. I was worried that I'd have to take him out at the Globes if like Dune didn't get AFI, but it did get AFI, so we're good. Yeah, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez. I'm really wondering if Jacques Audiard can still sustain for the Oscar, but we'll have to see. And honestly, I'm gonna do it. I think John M. Chu gets nominated for the Golden Globes for Wicked. I think that's just what's going to happen, because Wicked, I feel like, is going to start off very, very strong. And we already thought he was maybe going to get like Critics' Choice and DGA, but I'm not going to like, having seen when I saw the movie, it's like, oh, this is going to get like the Golden Globe nomination. They're going like the early awards are going to really, really love Wicked. And so that's why I kind of have John M. Chu in here. And then lastly, I have Edward Berger for Conclave, which again, like that, yeah, that makes sense for the Golden Globes. I don't think he'll get in for the Oscar. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of hard to tell, because I'm becoming less and less, convinced of Pedro Almodovar. But again, if Pedro Almodovar got nominated here, and let's say if the Room Next Door also got Best Picture drama, like in a packed category like director, if Pedro Almodovar still managed to get in, then yeah, it's like the movie's getting Best Picture at the Oscars. Like, and also Pedro Almodovar might get the Oscar nomination for a director. Oops. So yeah, Greg Cuidar for Sing Sing. I am looking out for him, but I don't know where he shows up. Maybe he shows up at DGA. That could be a big possibility, because they do kind of go with what the top 5 for Best Picture. Like, it's weird. DGA 5 is usually more accurate to Best Picture, or at least the top 5 for Best Picture, than, PGA was when they had 5 nominees. Still, I'm kind of looking out. Ramel Ross for the Nickel Boys. I do think he'll get the Oscar nomination, but I think it's going to have to be until, Critics' Choice and DGA. I think that's his path, because I don't think international bodies are going to really like Nickel Boys all that much. So we'll have to see. Coralie Farjat for The Substance. The Substance lives or dies here at the Golden Globes if it can get like director or screenplay. If it doesn't, then I think we have to say that The Substance is dead. Okay, I guess it would have to take until let's say if DGA went for The Substance. Like, that would be major. But right now, I'm just kind of feeling, yeah, The Substance might be just too genre-y. And I already mentioned Pedro Almodovar. James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Maybe he gets DGA. We'll have to see. And Mohamed Roslov for The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Again, we'll have to see. Granted, last year the Golden Globes didn't even nominate Justine Triet or Jonathan Glazer. They didn't even when they nominated The Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest in Best Picture drama, they still didn't nominate Glazer or Triet. So I feel like that might be, well, yeah. Screenplay. This is really, really tough. And this is what I'm going to go with. Anora, I feel like, takes the original screenplay Oscar, and so I'm going to go with... One thing you want to do when predicting Golden Globes for screenplay is, unless you're Aaron Sorkin, they will usually just award an original screenplay over, an adapted screenplay. Because Sing Sing winning here would be big. I would love that, but the problem is, it's not an original screenplay. And the Golden Globes prefer to give original screenplays. I mean, good God, they even gave, Anatomy of a Fall. But actually, wait, if I'm not mistaken, hold on a second. Anatomy of a Fall, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Killers, Poor Things, and what was that 6th one? I know they had a 6th one at the Oscars that year. No, not the Oscars, but the Golden Globes. Oh, and Past Lives. So, it is interesting. Anatomy of a Fall and Past Lives were the only original screenplays last year. Whereas, the previous year, Women Talking was the only adapted nominee. The year before that, The Power of the Dog was the only adapted nominee. The year before that, Nomadland and The Father were the only adapted nominees. The year before that, Two Popes and The Irishman. All right, yeah, those were the only. So yeah, they. I don't know. Maybe they'll not be as strict towards original screenplays. I don't know. It's really tough. I'll go with the Nora right now. The Brutalist, sure, because again, it's original, and also it would win Best Picture Drama. But if Sing Sing won screenplay here, oh boy, its path to Best Picture is clearer than ever. Conclave, I think it'll get in here. It's a very righty movie. Nickel Boys, I don't think it'll get in for director, but I think it will get in for screenplay. You know, sort of like Women Talking. Women Talking didn't get nominated for director, but still got a screenplay nomination. And A Real Pain, if I want to really cement Real Pain as a Best Picture contender at the Oscars, or at least in my top 10, I feel like it would need screenplay here. Because it's probably going to get original screenplay no matter what, but if it got like the top 6 for screenplay at the Globes, then I would say it's definitely in. All right? Outside of that, maybe... So that means I am taking out Emilia Perez, but I am kind of doing that because Emilia Perez, again, its reputation is kind of going down and down and down. So, we'll have to see. Dune Part 2, I think it'll get into the Oscars, but probably not here. Challengers, I don't think it's going to get Best Picture at the Oscars, so probably not. Wicked, oh my god, if they gave Wicked a screenplay nomination, oh, we're in for it now. We are in for it now. The Substance, if the Substance... And so yeah, you're probably, I have The Substance way down there, but that's because like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Or I don't know what to do. Cause Substance is either like kind of low down there or it could get nominated. Cause like that is a very big possibility. But again, if The Substance is not going to get Best Picture of the Oscar. No. If The Substance wants to get Best Picture of the Oscars, I feel like it needs director or screenplay here. So we'll have to see. Complete Unknown, probably not going to happen. Maybe Writers Guild. Actually, no, probably definitely Writers Guild, actually, because the Writers Guild Awards this year look very, very weak when you have, at least when you look at the contenders. Saturday Night, if it wanted to really cement itself as a screenplay contender, I'm like, all right, sure. Room Next Door, again, I want to look out for this if The Room Next Door becomes big. And then The Seed of the Sacred Fig, you know, kind of like who's who. Like, we'll see what happens. Non-English language picture. All right. Now, this is interesting because all we imagine... Okay, Emilia Perez, it's going to get the most nominations, and it's going to be in Best Picture, comedy musical. It's fine. See the Sacred Fig, unless this one to surprise in drama picture, I don't think it's really going to pose much of a threat to Emilia Perez. All I Imagine is Light. It's not going to get the Oscar nomination because India didn't submit it, but obviously with the Golden Globes, they play by different rules, so it's going to get nominated here. And I actually put it in above I'm Still Here because All I Imagine is Light has been winning some international awards, so that's interesting. I don't think Kneecap's going to get the Oscar nomination because I feel like it's too wacko and zany. But here, probably. And How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies, it is like a big tearjerker. It is like a big emotional film for people. Because I don't know if the Golden Globes would go for something as like art house or something like The Girl with the Needle or something. We'll have to see. And I'm kind of looking through Universal Language. I just realized I did put Dee Dee in my predictions last time in my early Golden Globes predictions for non-English language picture, but I've heard that it's not mostly that it is mostly in English, and so I don't know. This is it is really tough for me because because Parasite was no, not Parasite. If Past Lives. Because Past Lives, that got nominated because that had a technical, technically that had more, Korean dialogue in it, and so it is kind of tough to figure out. So I don't know. I'm going with the assumption that Dee Dee doesn't meet the requirements, but if it gets nominated here and it turns out that it did, I'm gonna punch myself in the face because God, Universal Language Vermiglio, Grand Tour, Flow. The funny thing about Flow is that on paper it would make sense to get nominated here. But the problem is that the category is non-English language picture. And the reason why I mention that is because, yeah, there's technically no English in Flow, but there's also no language at all. So it's like, I don't know if they would count that. Like, I don't know if they would take that into account. Because I'm starting to wonder if Flow could get the Oscar nomination. Because it looks like it's going to be very strong in animated feature. We'll have to see about that. Speaking of animated feature, we have this. The Wild Robot, I feel like, is going to win. But again, I do want to look out for something like, especially Wallace and Gromit, the Vengeance Most Foul. Because one thing I will note is that with the Golden Globes last year, they chose The Boy and the Heron. And I should have taken that more seriously because Golden Globes do, like, correlate with, like, the best animated feature winner usually. Not always, but usually. And if something wins the Golden Globe and the BAFTA, then they're kind of like, all right, that's done. Unbeatable combo. And I'm kind of looking out for Wallace and Gromit, because Wallace and Gromit might win BAFTA. If it won here, if Wallace and Gromit won at the Golden Globes, well, then it's absolutely winning BAFTA, and then it's taking the Oscar. There's no question about it at that point. And I don't care what PGA does, because PGA always goes for, like, American animated films. They hate, like, they would literally rather nominate the fucking Mario movie over something like Robot Dreams. So, yeah. Hell, they didn't even nominate Nimona, and I'm pretty sure that was an American movie. Like, they just like big popular stuff. So I would not take PGA seriously at all. Not at all. So, yeah. I am watching out for Wallace and Gromit. Because if it won here, then it's going to win BAFTA. And then it's taking the Oscar. Inside Out 2, it's solidly in there. Flow, sure, yeah. Maybe. Admittedly, this is kind of where things get a little bit tricky. Because Ninja Turtles didn't get nominated last year. It didn't get nominated here. And neither did Nimona. Which is fascinating. But again, this is more artsy stuff. Maybe the Globes would like that. But then again, what am I saying? They nominated Wish and Mario. And that's not, like, what? So, I don't know what their logic is here. Moana 2, I feel like it's going to get nominated here. Because, I mentioned that, Wish got nominated. And, Moana 2 had just come out when voting was going on with the Globes. So they probably saw Moana 2 and nominated it because it's still on their little sugar high. And it might even get the Critics' Choice nomination too. But once things cool down, like, no one's going to care about Moana 2. Moana 2 is not going to get nominated. And then look back, because the Golden Globes have recently gone for, like, have gone for films that are, like, kind of out there, like thinking outside the box. Like last year they went for Suzume. No one saw that coming. The year before that, they did Inu-Oh. And then the year before that, they did My Sunny Mad. So it's like, they have been kind of going out there with the more international picks. So maybe Look Back gets nominated here. I think that might happen. I do want to, so that I have taken out Memoir of a Snail because I don't think they're going to go 5 out of 5 this year. Piece by Piece, if they just want to have Pharrell Williams come by at the Golden Globes, then they'll probably nominate him. Mufasa the Lion King is interesting because The Lion King 2019 did get nominated, and the thing is, Disney wasn't even trying. And you can't even say it's like, oh, well, Disney was just buying votes. Like, no, they did not even submit the Lion King for Best Animated Feature at the Globes because they just like it's weird. These Lion King movies, they are animated, but the reason why they're called live action by Disney is so they can get around certain guilds, because if you call it live action, then hey, Jon Favreau gets to be covered by the DGA, and you don't have to worry about like animation groups and stuff like that. Like you have to this will basically be treated as visual effects, and there is no guild for visual effects people, at least not as a whole. So yeah, but regardless. They did, like, Disney did not treat The Lion King as an animated movie, but yet the Golden Globes still nominated it because it turns out they went out of their way to nominate The Lion King. They went out of their way to submit The Lion King in animated and vote for it anyway. So it was just a passion pick for them. Mufasa, I want to say maybe that could happen, but I don't even know if any critics have seen that movie yet. That's the thing, like, it hasn't even been seen by anyone, as far as I can tell. So, it's probably not going to get nominated, but because if I knew that it did, show for critics, then yeah, I probably would say maybe it gets nominated because, again, the recency bias. But right now, I don't think it will. Or at least I don't think it has been shown. Despicable Me 4, it's big, popular. It'll definitely get PGA, so who knows. Transformers 1, if they didn't do Ninja Turtles, they're not going to do this. Lord of the Rings, maybe, but again, I don't know if anyone's, I think some people have seen it, but yeah. Kung Fu Panda 4, just kind of figuring out, alright, yeah. But honestly, I think it's looking good for the top 4. It's just honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about this top 5, honestly. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Original score, alright. I have Emilia Perez still winning. Emilia Perez is a musical in Best Picture. I feel like that kind of makes sense right now. So, yeah. Also, I have The Brutalist in, as number 2. Okay, we'll have to see. Yeah, I have heard some of the score, but it's not as, maybe it is a lot more blaring in the film, because there's only been 3 tracks released publicly, so we'll have to see. Dune Part 2, as far as I know, it's not eligible for the Oscar, but it could still get nominated here. I mean, hell, I'm actually predicting it to win at Critics' Choice, if I'm going to be completely honest. Challengers, yeah. Honestly, we're kind of seeing, a weak showing for, Best Picture nominees that could get in for score. So, maybe this is a year where we get some non-Best Picture nominees in score at the Oscars. We'll have to see. The Wild Robot, yeah, maybe I don't think it would get the Oscar nomination, but here, probably. And Conclave. Honestly, maybe Conclave should be higher up. I was just kind of not sure what to do. Oh, but I would watch out for The Room Next Door. Because Alberto Iglesias does get nominated at the Globes quite a bit. And he did for Parallel Mothers. But Parallel Mothers also got nominated for Best Foreign Language Film. And that was before, foreign language films could get into Best Picture at the Globes. So it's fascinating. So I don't know what's going on. If Room Next Door really overperformed, it probably would get original score. So I'm not ruling it out completely. Saturday Night has a very good score. I don't know if they would nominate it, though, because Saturday Night is kind of weak. A Real Pain, I'm just kind of putting it in there. I don't know if A Real Pain has, a score or not. I really don't. Queer, that's also Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, but as far as I know, the score for Challengers is a lot more notable. And The Substance, again, if they really, really love it, maybe. And then Gladiator 2, I'm just kind of throwing in there, but I don't know if that's really happening. Then we get original song. And this is, you don't want to go like exactly with what the Oscars are going to do. So I don't think The Journey from the 688 is going to be here. Again, it would make sense because it's going to get the Oscar nomination, but Diane Warren doesn't get nominated for the Golden Globes nearly as much as she does for the Oscar. I'm going with Mi Camino. That's the big, romantic song. The one with, what's her name? Selena Gomez, the really chill song. So yeah, El Mal is more rock ballad, the fun rock ballad. It'll get nominated, but it's not going to win. Piece by Piece, I mean, this is where Pharrell Williams could show up for the Globes. I mean, it's not a very good song, but I don't think that would really matter. They'll probably just do it anyway. Yeah, Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot. I don't think that's going to get in for the Oscar, but they might nominate it here. Who knows? Ain't No Love in Oklahoma kind of makes sense for a Globes nomination because it could be any of those Taylor Swift songs, the one from the Hunger Games or Carolina from Where the Crawdads Sing, maybe. And also Better Man. They might want to have Robbie Williams there. I don't Forbidden Road from Better Man. I don't think it'll get the Oscar nomination, but I think this would make sense for the Globes. This does make sense. There is Beyond and We're Back from Moana 2, but people don't like the songs in Moana 2. Maybe the Critics' Choice Awards nominate one of those two, but I don't know about, the Globes. Maybe not. Who knows? Compress, Repress from Challengers. If they really love it, they might, but I don't know if they will. Maybe Critics' Choice does it. We'll have to see. Harper and Will Go West. That's interesting, because I'm wondering if the Oscars could nominate it, but I don't know. Well, it's tough. Why I'm Here from Shirley. That honestly, that could get into the Golden Globes. I'm not even kidding. They like their big civil rights songs. They did. What was that? What was it? The Rustin song. I forgot what it was called, but yeah. They could do Why I'm Here. That's very possible. I already talked about The Journey. Like a Bird, I feel like would get in at the Oscars, but not here. Winter's Code from Blitz. I always wanted a brother. That stupid song from Mufasa. Again, I don't think people have even seen this movie, so probably not. Double Life from Despicable Me 4. I feel like they already got their, Pharrell Williams kick from Piece by Piece. So we'll have to see. Not My Fault from Mean Girls would be like a really random nomination, but again, as a lone Globe sing, maybe, because it also has a musical. It is tough though. And finally, we are going into Best Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. This top 20 right here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, are the 20 films that are eligible for this award. Because, granted, they say that, oh yeah, streaming films can get in if, if they're told, what the numbers were, and they'll try to, math it out to try to equate, oh, how many people did see this movie? Would it be enough to be, a cinematic and box office achievement? I don't know that. I'm just kind of going with what made money at the box office. And so, yeah, The Substance would not be eligible. Bob Marley would not be eligible. So we're just kind of working with this 20. Wicked's winning. Wicked's going to win. That makes sense to me. Dune, it's also in Best Picture. That would make sense too. I don't know why I have Inside Out 2 over The Wild Robot, because The Wild Robot, I think, is more likely to win Best Animated Feature, but the Inside Out 2 made way more money, so I don't know. Deadpool and Wolverine, that would be really funny if it won, but again, it's going up against Wicked. That's not happening. Moana 2, it's the big box office juggernaut of the year. I think Moana 2 could be like Mario, which also, Mario got nominated for original song here, but then at the same time, people actually liked Peaches, with Moana 2, no one cares about the songs. Beetlejuice, I'm gonna put in here, because apparently it actually is number 4 in the domestic box office, so that's fascinating. But also, I am predicting Michael Keaton for Best Actor, comedy musical actor. So it would make sense if they go, oh, well, I nominated here. Maybe I could nominate Beetlejuice for Best Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. And then Gladiator 2, they'll probably just do that just to be there. I feel like the other most likely film would maybe be Twisters, but I don't know what it would take out. I don't know, maybe Beetlejuice? Let's say Michael Keaton doesn't get nominated for Best Actor, Musical or Comedy, and instead we get Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness. Alright, then maybe Beetlejuice could get swapped out in favor of Twisters. Because Twisters was a big, cultural phenomenon. It Ends With Us. I forgot this movie even existed. That's the Blake Lively rom-com. It made a shit ton of money, but again, I'm just not sure. A Quiet Place Day 1. Yeah, why not? Despicable Me 4, Kingdom Planet of the Apes, Alien, Godzilla, Bad Boys, Kung Fu Panda, If, Venom. Yeah, I'm just kind of going down the list, but yeah, this is your top 20. This is your top 20 that you want to have, so yeah. And guys, just to be sure, yep, those are my final Golden Globes nominations predictions. Stay tuned for tomorrow because I'm doing my Critics' Choice nomination predictions. That's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I'm going to pass the question off to you. What are your final Golden Globes predictions? At least in terms of nominations. I want to know what yours are. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And be sure you hit that subscribe button, because if you don't, you're never going to win a Golden Globe.